I wasn't sure whether I was even going to do a video on this because it's the files are so huge because they're all related as elemental union, the cosmic records. But I'm trying to keep this file small and to the point, the still point. How about you, vacuum? Be calm. And that's in recent history. There's a couple of channels that I subscribe to. One guy, his name is Juan Brown, has a knack for keeping track of every aircraft, every flight simulator that crashes. So that's a software crash. So that's a simulation within a simulation within a simulation within a simulation within a simulation, generation after generation after generation after generation. Trapped in artificial simulations. That's a trap experiment because it's a vampiric system. And a vampiric system is a fallen system. Because I knew as a child, I'm not supposed to need to consume the electron of another electrical power plant. Whether it's a flower, whether it's a bird, whether it's a cow, whether it's a strawberry, whether it's a carrot, whether it's a head of lettuce. And so when you're operating, when you come in, you had to be willing to accept the contract as crisis intervention security teams to run those codes, the fighting code, the vampire code. Otherwise, you couldn't operate here without blowing all sorts of batteries up, like galactic batteries, neurons. So that's what takes time. Restoration takes time to experience breathing crystal power, the Breatharian form and flow. Now I'm not needing to consume one electron off another electron, another electrical unit, another cell, another plant, another power plant, another plasma field generator, another unit of consciousness energy. They're self-aware. Doesn't experience itself anymore what it was once aware of because now it was consumed. Yeah, so we all know what an energy harvesting system is because of the way that mathematical firing order, that table, that mathematical table operates that system that fell. And how that system operates as tech operators, right? Are they in the game? Are they not in the game? Are they in the game? Mazers, the maze, crossword puzzles. Yeah. And so one of the channels that I just watched highlighted a very important point that I've tried to illuminate. Put light on the subject, put light on the subject matter, put light on the matter to experience the absolute truth so I can share two files that are associated with each other. The crash in South Korea over the holidays is not a mathematical coincidence. That is a mathematical error, which is a breathing error, which is timing of the way that system design, which is vampiric, operates a vampiric system design. Killing numbers. Limited memory to generate another artificial one, another artificial simulation, to keep those artificial simulations within a simulation, within a simulation, generation after generation, to keep it running until it goes nova. Back to the source field. The eternal field, the lung field, the crystal breathing form, Breatharian form and flow. Tetrahydrolase fused with helium. Now I'm breathing. Now I don't need any energy from you. That means I don't need any money either, does it? That means I don't need any energy from another unit of energy that is self-aware. Because now I'm breathing pure, eternal crystal light, liquid consciousness. Wow. Yep. That's why we're here. Is restore, which is retrieval of shattered crystal soul fragments, spheres of light that shattered the crystal form and flow. Shattered. The hammer. Yeah. And it's just like taking a hammer to a crystal. Well, what it once was is all in pieces, like Humpty Dumpty having to restore all the pieces of what it once was aware of. That's called a rebuild. Oh, rebuilding the Ark, the Emerald Ark, the agreement, the original instructors, the original teachings. Oh, the original teachings. Yeah. The founders' teachings. Yeah, the Guardian Alliance, the Guardian Shield, the Crisis Intervention Security Teams. Aurora, yeah. I Manu, yeah. Silence is golden fire. No sound. The first eternal sound of light, the first echo of rainbows, the plasma tones. So this channel was highlighting, making reference to another Korean air crash, which was 801 Korean Airlines. There apparently was a fight over control of a future potential memory. Based on what? Rank and horsepower. Well, perceivably that the captain is always right. The captain doesn't make any errors because he's a captain, because he has rank. Now we can go back to Vietnam, and those folks that are Vietnam vets remember what was called a term called fragging, where they were deliberately murdering their boss, their crew boss, because they acknowledged that their crew boss, that's got rank, is going to get them all killed. So they killed him, killing numbers. So remember where I performed an override? A future potential memory. I could see the future potential of all possibilities. We don't want to experience that possibility, and that's called a timing factor, which is torque speed conversion of fire and ice, fire and water. Apply the water, apply the consciousness of water, the eternal living waters, and cool the base point. And guess what? That's called steam conversion. And that'll cool the base. Hey, now we save the house. Now the people in the house that live in that house, when they come home, their house is still there. The echo map that was left in their memory-driven programs, that program is still there. Now they're running the program of the house because they're experiencing the programs, the radio graphics, the graphical user interface, the radio programs, the mathematical programs of radiation. So now that house is still intact. Like tachyons, kicking out neutrinos, naturally gifting electrons, giving it all away. So you see how the two were coupled, because what happened when we got up to the house that day, and I'm the engineer, the water pump operator, and I have somebody next to me who had rank, but he had no experience of having faced that situational awareness before. Because what he wanted to do was to grab a 1-inch chemical resistant steel jacketed line, which was 1 inch, which is high pressure and low volume. No, we want low pressure, high volume. And that is a torque speed mathematical ratio between fire and water. So hook up to the standpipe. That's what I said when I turned my eyes. They looked directly into my eyes and they saw the truth. Because they're experiencing what love is. So love is communicating to them. Connect the water supply from the standpipe, the internet standpipe, into the intake. Goes directly into the tank. Keep the tank full of water. Now we can pull 2.5-inch, which were known as leader lines, one around each side of the house, like a perimeter. And we're going to do torque conversion. Torque conversion on the right, torque conversion on the left. Oh, wow. Yeah, now we're going to run a fog pattern, a water pattern, a sound and light burn pattern, a fire and light. Fire vapor. Cool the base point. Hey, we just cooled the fire down. So now the future potential memory of the family that lives in that house is going to experience the mass media effect of what we did. So I overrode the captain. Otherwise, that echo map, when that family came home, would not be the same map, would it? Now you see how trauma-based mind control is held captive to a hierarchy of full spectrum dominance, of rank. like rank organization, like the boxing rank organization, the violent code, the fighting code, the vampiric code. Yeah, that's why we're here. Different codes, different strokes for different folks, different key strokes, like the stroke of an engine. Yeah. So they seem to be looking at that about being equal. And so I shared the story when I was hired as a Wildland Fire Division Chief in Josephine County, Oregon, back in, when was that? 1990, I believe it was. And I was hired as Wildland Division Chief. And I interviewed and I hired over 20 some odd firefighters, but we were to be made up in a complex number space. 20 individuals work as a crew so that we could be called out on a wildland fire by a federal agency, a state agency, or a local city agency or locally, which means we're available. We're on call, the call tones, the tones. So when they first met me and we had a gathering, I told them all, listen, I am equal unto all of you. So if you experience anything that I'm not aware of, you have every right to freely express what you're aware of, because we're all looking out for each other so that we all come home together as one grand creation. And when they experienced being equal, I took the rank off, because eternal Son is not a hierarchy. It's pure, eternal, absolute love, which is protection. So love is protection for all life forms. That's how it works. Chapter 5. That's why we're here, is to restore cosmic law, which is balance, which is equal sharing, which is equidistance, which is equal balance. And so you'll notice that there's been a lot of crashes, software crashes recently, simulators going down, right? Simulator after simulator going down. There was one guy that runs an app called What's Up and Shipping. And I share with that channel the truth, because like Juan Brown, he looks at data points. He looks at the data stream, the simulation data stream. They both do. One talks a lot about logistics, and the other one talks about failure analysis, which is the failure to communicate. So what would happen if all the folks that are part of that flight crew didn't have any rank? We're all here performing our jobs, equally sharing what I am and energy to experience what love is. So we're all looking out for each other when we're flying this flight simulator, to make sure that the simulator doesn't crash, because our soul's on board that are eternal, protecting that plane with a rainbow sphere. Just like San Francisco to La Jolla. All life is sacred in the eyes of the first camera, the first camcorder, the eternal Son, the Sun Eye, the eye of being calm blue waters. Ah, yeah, have a beautiful day. Ah, yeah, ah, yeah, ah, yeah.